meaningful to me because in many ways it feels full circle. But I'll share a little bit more about that later. But for now, I would like to begin by sharing a poem with you. Is that all right? Okay. I have only just 1 minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just one tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. This is my favorite poem because it sums up in just a few words what it's all about. You see, the minute, if you haven't already figured it out, is a metaphor. It's a metaphor that sums up the idea that we only have this one life, this one short life. So we must decide, we must choose to be intentional about the way we spend it. See, as I look out into this audience, I am reminded of the day some years ago when I sat in a seat very much like the ones you're sitting in now as a senior in high school receiving the Academic Achievement Award from my local Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated chapter. I think of that day and I smile because, wow, that time, man, it flew by like a blink of an eye. You see, very much like yourselves, I was a highly achieving student. And much like yourselves, I was the best and the brightest of my class. And to no surprise to my parents, I evolved into a highly achieving adult. And if you, students, continue on your current path, you too will become highly achieving adults. And I think it's safe to assume that's what you want, right? That's what you want. That's what your parents want. That's what we all want, right? But, yeah, there's a but. It's okay though. I stopped by today to tell you that while achievements and accolades you will no doubt collect on your path to greatness are wonderful and worth celebrating, there is far more to a meaningful life than achievement alone. So, for the next few moments, I want to share with you some tips, okay? Some tips that I believe are essential for your journey ahead. 4 tips to carry with you as you travel through this minute called life. Is that okay? All right, tip number 1, discover your purpose. Tip number 2, find your people. Tip number 3, protect your peace. And tip number 4, trust the process. Tip number 1, discover your purpose. I believe we are all placed here for a reason. And that reason is that we are each meant to do something extraordinary with our lives. But that extraordinary thing is not necessarily for us or even about us. I believe that our time here on earth is to influence this world in a way that makes it a better place. And I believe that's why we are all blessed with gifts and talents. And some of us, especially us high achievers, especially us best and brightest, have many gifts and talents, which makes it easy to begin stacking up accomplishments. And let's be honest, it feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. It makes your parents proud. It makes your teachers proud. It makes you proud. And there's nothing wrong with that. But as you walk through this life and grow in wisdom and maturity, you will begin to realize the accolades we earn mean very little without the why behind them. So I'm here to tell you that even at your young age, you can begin to discover that why. You can begin to discover your purpose. But how, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Your purpose will be that thing that will keep pulling you towards it. It'll be that thing you're passionate about. It'll be that thing that brings you joy. It'll be that thing that feels so natural, it's like breathing. It'll be that thing that you just can't put into words, but you just know. For me, it was doing what I'm doing right now, speaking. You see, when I was young, probably a little younger than some of you who are in middle school, my grandmother would sign me up for speeches at church. How many of y'all can relate to that? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Easter speeches, Christmas speeches. I didn't come to stay. I just came to say, y'all know the rest. Happy Easter. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know those kind of speeches. And then one day, Grandma was in charge of a program, or shall I say a program. We call it a program at my church. I don't know about y'all. A program at church, and she asked me to say a poem for the program. And I was like 10 or 11 years old, so what was I going to say? No, I don't think so. So I did what I was told, and I recited the poem, and the church loved it, and I got a standing ovation. And it was probably just because I was 10 years old. But, it felt good anyway. But I got so many compliments, and I felt really proud all while I was thinking, man, that was no big deal. It was easy. Well, then the next year, Grandma signed me up for an oratory contest, a speech contest at church. And I won. And so, sidebar, I'm also like real competitive, so I like to win. So that was, yeah, you too? Y'all like to win too? Okay. So then I went on to the district level competition, and I won that. And then I went on to the state competition, and I did not win that. I came in, I wanted to say third, but the Holy Spirit told me to tell the truth. I came in fourth. I still think I was wrong, but that's just whatever. I was wrong. Okay. But through those experiences, I realized I was pretty good at speaking. I enjoyed it. It came naturally to me. But more importantly, and this is the part that really mattered, as I would do it more and more, I realized that I love the way my words affected the audience. I love how they made people feel. And it just felt right. So throughout my life, whenever I had the opportunity to speak, I gladly took it. And over time, I realized speaking wasn't just something I liked to do, it was something I was passionate about. It was a gift meant to bless others, and it was my purpose. But because I didn't choose to make speaking a career, I chose a different path, and that wasn't a bad thing. I mean, I've achieved some things, but it wasn't the same. I wasn't as passionate about it. I believe it blessed others, but it just didn't give me that same feeling. So very recently, I found my way back to speaking, and I realized, man, this is what I should have been doing the whole time. So now at my big age, I'm actively working towards being able to do it full time. But I said all of that to say, don't wait like I did. When you feel that pull like I felt when I was 10 years old, lean into it, listen to it. Now you might say, Dr. Mitchell, I'm passionate about a lot of things, and that's okay. But pay attention to the thing that keeps coming back. Opportunities to speak kept coming back to me, even when I didn't seek them out. So, how many of y'all know the scripture that your gifts make room for you? They do. So, stay in tune with what those are, because through your passion, you will discover your purpose. Tip number 2, find your people. So, some of you might say, oh, Dr. Mitchell, I got this. That's easy. I already have my people. I'm straight. And you might be right. Right now, your people are probably your friends and your family. Many of you, like me at your age, may have a whole crew, a whole clique, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But as you journey through this minute called life, you will begin to notice that the crew gets smaller and smaller. And that's not necessarily because anything went wrong, but because it's a natural evolution of life. People move, people grow, people change, and that's not a bad thing. But you will come to realize that your people, your real people, your ride or dies, your A1s from day one, will be the ones that stick by you through all of the things. They will be the ones who will be there when you're up and when you're down. They won't just be there for the good times and the celebrations. Your real people will be the ones who show up in the hard times just as quickly, if not quicker. They will be the ones who celebrate you genuinely because you will soon learn, if you haven't figured it out already, there are people who will cheer for you with a smile on your face, but envy in their heart. My grandma used to call them so-called friends. But there's another term for them now. I think the term is haters. Yes, haters. I used to hear this radio DJ. She used to say, "Let your haters be your motivators. Don't worry about them haters. Let your haters be your motivators." But find your people who will sit with you when you've made a terrible mistake and listen and not judge. But they will tell you the truth. Find your people who will stay the course with you, who will guide you in the right direction and pull you back when you're headed the wrong way. Find those people who will walk with you through all of it, through life's greatest joys, but also through life's greatest sorrows. And the truth is, you may end up with only one or two people like that. And that is perfectly okay because those are your people. But there's another group of people that you need to find. The poem I opened up with was written by a man named Reverend Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays. Students, raise your hand if you've ever heard that name before. Yeah, that's what I thought. Dr. Mays, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Dr. Mays was a civil rights leader and the president of Morehouse College. Raise your hand if you heard of Morehouse College. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. He was the president of Morehouse College from 1940 to 1967. And during his tenure at Morehouse College, a particular young man walked those halls, and I'd be willing to bet you know this name. Raise your hand if you've heard this name before. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Can you raise your hand? Raise them high. Yeah, that's right. Dr. Mays was the president of Morehouse during Dr. King's time as a student there. He was Dr. King's mentor. He considered Dr. King his spiritual son. He poured into Dr. King. He helped shape him to become the man that we all know and are honored by to this very day. So I'm saying to you all, students, find your Benjamin Elijah Mays. Find the people who will pour into you. Right now, those people aren't hard to identify. They're your parents, your teachers, your coaches, maybe even some of my sorority sisters that are sharing the stage with me. They are the people who will say, hey, sign up for this scholarship. Or, hey, you should enter that competition like my grandma made me do. They're the ones who see something in you often before you even see it in yourself. They're the ones who will push you toward your purpose. Don't run from them. Lean into them. Receive their wisdom. They will not lead you wrong. And third, find the people that you can pour into. Now, some of you might say, me? I'm just a kid. Who's going to listen to me? But scripture reminds us again, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and purity. You are never too young to be a good influence on someone. It may not happen until later in life, but find the people that you are called to invest in. Because remember, your purpose is not about you. Your purpose is to influence this world in a way that makes it better. And that begins with the people right in front of you. And here's another little tidbit. Some of those people will actually find you because they're watching you. You are the best and the brightest. Don't be surprised if there are younger siblings or cousins or even some of your friends who see how you are carrying yourself and they think, dang, I want to be like him, or I want to do what she's doing. So be mindful, students, of how you carry yourself. So find your people who will pour into you. Find your people that you will pour into, and find people who will stick with you through it all. Third, protect your peace. Now, you are the high achievers, the best and the brightest, and because of your gifts and talents, people will come for your time. There will always be someone who wants you involved in their cause or their project or their vision. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes these opportunities are genuinely good. But I need you to remember your North Star, your true North is your purpose. If something is not serving your purpose and not feeding your passion and not bringing you joy, you have full permission to say no, unless it's your grandma. Don't do that, okay? And let me tell you something early that took me years to learn. No is a complete sentence. Because you see, I was one of those people who could not say it. I was in everything when I was young. And even as I've gotten older, church youth group, student government, dance team, gospel choir. So all of the things, all while maintaining a strong GPA. And I said yes just because people asked me to. I said yes because I didn't want to disappoint anyone. But sometimes, and I'm just being honest, I said yes just because I like being in stuff. I like being involved. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? Just being stuff. Just being stuff. Let me do a poll. Where my athletes at? My football player. Raise your hand. Athlete, football, basketball, track. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What about dance? Cheerleading. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Academic club, beta club, National Honor Society. Uh-huh. I can't forget my band people. Band. Uh-huh. What about chorus? Orchestra. Now, y'all notice something, parents and sororities? It's the same kids. They keep raising their hands, just being stuff, all the stuff. I know you're kind into all the things. There's nothing wrong with being involved. Some of your greatest memories and opportunities will come from those experiences. But the older I've gotten, and the more I've learned the power of being selective, the power of choosing carefully where I give my time and my energy and my attention, because being busy is not the same thing as being fulfilled. And achieving just for the sake of achieving will eventually wear you out. So protecting your peace simply means understanding that you do not have to prove your worth by saying yes to everything. So be intentional, be purposeful, and make sure your life is filled with things that matter to you, not just things that look impressive to everyone else. And the last tip before I leave you is this: trust the process. Now, let me talk to you about something that every high achiever struggles with at some point. And if I'm honest, I still struggle to this day, and that is trusting the process. See, when you're smart and talented and driven and used to succeeding, you get used to things working out for you. You get used to being the one who gets the good grades, who wins the awards, who makes the team, who gets selected, who gets recognized. And because of that, sometimes we begin to believe that if we work hard enough, plan carefully enough, and want something badly enough, everything should happen exactly how and when we want them to happen. But students, let me tell you, life doesn't always work like that. Sometimes you will study hard and still not get the grades you wanted. Sometimes you will try out and not make the team. Sometimes you apply for the scholarship, the program, the leadership position. Somebody else will get it. Sometimes your plans will just fall apart. And when that happens, it's very easy to think, man, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I failed. Maybe I should just quit. But hear me clearly when I say this. A delay is not always a denial, and a setback is not the end of your story. Sometimes the process is preparing you for something greater than what you currently see. You know, we love success stories. We love the final results. We love hearing about the championships and the accomplishments and the degrees and the dream jobs. But what we don't always see is the process behind the success story. We don't see the early mornings. We don't see the disappointments. We don't see the rejections. We don't see the moments of self doubt, the failures people had to survive before they finally succeeded. And I need you to understand this now while you are young. Growth often happens in the uncomfortable places. Sometimes the process is teaching you discipline. Sometimes it's teaching you patience. Sometimes it's teaching you humility. Sometimes it's building resilience in you because the person you are becoming will need it later. And can I tell you something else? Some of the greatest blessings in my life came from things that did not go according to my plan. And at the time, I was disappointed, mad, and confused, frustrated, all of the emotions. But later I realized those moments directed me toward something better, toward the people I needed to meet, toward the lessons I needed to learn, toward the purpose that I wasn't quite ready for yet. So when life doesn't happen exactly the way you imagined, don't panic. Don't give up on yourself. Don't let one bad moment convince you that your future is ruined. Trust the process. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep believing that where you are right now is not where you will always be. Because success is not built in one big moment, it's built in the small choices you make every single day. And one day you will look back and realize that the process, the hard parts, the waiting seasons, the disappointments were shaping you into exactly who you needed to become. Now, you might say, well, dang, Dr. Mitchell, that's a lot of pressure. I'm only 12 years old. I know, I know. But here's the reality. You may be 12 today, but in 15 seconds, you're going to be 25. And in 30 seconds, you're going to be 40. And in 45 seconds, you're going to be 50. The time will go by just like that. So I'm giving you these tools now while you're young to help you on your journey. So remember, discover your purpose, find your people, protect your peace, and when life doesn't go according to plan, remember to trust your process. And when you need encouragement and you get a little unsure, I want you to think back on these words and make them personal. You have only just a minute. You have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it, forced upon you. You can't refuse it. You didn't seek it, you didn't choose it, but it's up to you to use it. You will suffer if you lose it. Give account if you abuse it. Friends, it's just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Spend it wisely. Thank you.